Hello, Lake County, Florida, and welcome to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber and Supply. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and you're listening to my 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. And if you're viewing today's show, you're watching it on Lake Sumter Television, LSTV, and Appleseed Marketing, as seen on Channel 13 on Comcast and 99 on Bright House Cable. Romac Lumber's been serving Central Florida since 1945, and for almost 70 years, the company has been a leading innovator in the building supply industry. Today, I'm going to feature two new products which a lot of people in Lake and Sumter County are starting to use, and it's going to be some great information. Each segment will feature a new product, and we have a manufacturer's rep who can tell us all about the features and benefits. Gaco Western is a leading national provider of roofing materials which are considered the absolute best. If you have a roof problem, Gaco Western can solve it. Gaco Western manufactures probably the best roof coating in America, and it's called GacoRoof. That's G-A-C-O Roof. I call it a miracle roof coating because this stuff really works. Brittany Humphrey from Gaco Western is my first guest, and she is the area manager, and she's going to tell us all about this miracle roof coating. Now, they say this will be the last roof coating you'll ever need. That's her motto. With that, I'd like to introduce Brittany Humphrey from Gaco Western. Welcome, Brittany. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thanks for having me on, Don.
Well, we're so glad to have you here because this is an exciting product, and we want people to know about it. And it sort of gives a brief glimpse in what's happening in the building technologies these days. Why don't you take a moment, Brittany, and tell us about Gaco Western. Tell us about the company and its origins.
Well, Gaco Western was established in 1955 by Aubrey Davis. Mr. Davis was a tinker and a chemist. His first product he developed was Lifetime magazine termed as the Miracle Rubber. It was our Gaco N700. To this day, we are still family owned and operated and made in the USA. We have a large variety of products that extend from below grade waterproofing, pedestrian and traffic deck systems that has a unique patented aggregate system called the Gaco Shell. We also have wall foam, open and closed cell insulation, and of course what we're talking about today is our Gaco roof system.
So this product is an American-made product, and it basically solves a lot of the building and water intrusion issues that many homeowners face.
Yes, it does.
Now I call Gaco Roof a miracle roof coating, and your company once again calls it the last roof coating you'll ever need. What is Gaco Roof?
Gaco Roof is 100% silicone coating. Dawn, do you know the difference between a paint and a coating?
Probably, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me give me a better definition.
That you are correct. Paint is used to colorize. It's more for beautification of a substrate. However, a coating is used to waterproof and protect a substrate. So the Gaco roof coating is 100% silicone. It is a waterproofer and will help extend the life expectancy of your existing roof structure.
Well, I know we generally don't do props on the radio show because no one can see it, but since we are doing television today, there's a cardboard box that we've had in our showroom. It's cardboard now, and it's been coated with Gaco roof coating, and it's been there about a year, and it has two little ducts that float in it. And that cardboard box has not lost a drop of water, has it?
No, sir, it hasn't. It is sealed tight because it is a coating and a protective coating. The silicone, the backbone of the silicone coating helps from water intruding inside of your roof system.
All right, let's talk a minute about the actual chemistry behind this great roof coating and why is it different from others? Because most people, when they think roof coatings, let's just be honest with you, they've heard the term bull, they've heard the term black tar, they know it's a black, ugly, gooey substance that You can put it down in a year or two, it'll start leaking. But what's the difference? What's really the difference?
Well, the difference in our products versus our competitor products is we are 100% silicone. Silicone is the same chemical backbone as sand and glass. What this means is that it will not be affected by UV degradation, by ponding water, and by extreme temperature changes. Being the same chemical backbone to sand and glass, the product will not break down over time. So what we put on the roof today is going to be the same product protecting your roof in 10, 15, 20, and even 50 years down the road.
So essentially you're saying the way the product's manufactured, it's totally weather resistant, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. We have a very special guest today. We have Brittany Humphrey. She's the area manager from Gaco Western, and we're talking about what I call a miracle roof coating called GacoRoof. And this stuff really works. Once again, we have a cardboard box in most of the showrooms that's been coated with this stuff. It's been sitting there a year with a couple of ducks floating around. And that's sort of your moniker, your mascot, isn't it? These rubber ducks, isn't it?
It sure is. These rubber ducks, because the way that it represents is ducks like to sit in ponding water, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're showing that our products, our GacoRoof system, will withstand permanent ponding water.
Now, before we get too far, let's qualify something for our viewers and listeners. GacoRoof is basically a repair product for existing roofs, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. It will extend the life expectancy of your existing roof system.
So it's not a product that, for example, you can't just put it over plywood, or you can't put it over something that's not a roof material. You have to have an existing roof that it goes over.
Yes, sir, that is correct. It is a seamless membrane that is 100% adhered to your existing roof system.
All right. What type of roofs can GacoRoof be used on?
GacoRoof can be used on just about any types of low sloped or flat roof system. Metal, built-up roofs, single plies, aged asphalt, torch down, cap sheets, concrete, fiberglass, spray polyurethane foam roofs, RVs, campers, and many more. However, it cannot be used on shingles or anywhere that has wet insulation.
And the reason why it can't be used on shingles
is because it's made, shingles are made to shed water, where our system is used waterproof.
Okay, for example, there's a lot of people in Lake and Sumter County, a lot of agriculture, and they maybe have a roof up there that's 20 years old. It's a 25, 30-year roof. It's not rusted out, but roof's starting to have some screws back out. How would you recommend someone utilize a GacoRoof coating on an older metal roof, for example?
On an older metal roof, the first thing that you want to do is make sure the surface is clean, dry, and sound. You will want to check all of your fasteners. Any loose fasteners you'd want to pull out and replace with a larger fastener, just to make sure that you can pressure wash it. Then you will clean. We have a Gaco Wash Cleaner that is a concentrated formula that you will clean the roof with. And then pressure wash it, make sure all the detergent is off. Some roof systems will require primer. If you have a lot of rust on your existing metal roof, you will want to prime it. If you do not have a lot of rust, you can put 2 coats of GacoRoof system. Before you put the 2 coats of GacoRoof, you'll want to follow the fasteners with our liquid roof tape. And then put 2 coats of GacoRoof.
Now, I think it's real important to point out that if the roof is totally rusted to a point where you could step through it or something like that, at that point you have to replace the panel.
That is correct. That would not be a viable candidate for the GacoRoof system.
By the way, this segment of Around the House is sponsored by the Romac Lumber Design Center. Before you start any new home, addition, or remodeling project, you need a good set of construction plans and blueprints which creates your dreams while adhering to Florida's tough hurricane codes. At the Romac Lumber Design Center, they can bring your dreams alive with the help of the biggest window, door, and siding display in Lake County. Plus, they have the trained professionals in each of the departments who can help you pick out the right items. Jeremy Lippum and his staff can blend your dreams and product selections to create a fantastic set of construction plans. For your next project, call the Romac Lumber Design Center at 352-787-4545. That's 352-787-4545. Or stop by the largest showroom in Lake and Sumter counties at 700 East Main Street in historic downtown Leesburg. Brittany Humphrey is the area manager for Gaco Western. We're talking about their miracle roof product, GacoRoof. And you've mentioned several times about pond and water. First off, tell us what pond and water is.
Well, ponding water is termed, most flat or low sloped roofs are designed to have a slight pitch so that water can drain to them. However, over time you have sagging areas which water tends to stand. We call those areas ponding water. Ponding water is water that sits for over 48 hours. Most manufacturers of roofing systems will void their warranties due to areas that have ponding water. However, the GacoRoof system the warranty will not be voided due to ponding water areas.
For example, if someone's had an old addition done and they've used a flat roof system, and let's sort of give some definition on it. A low slope means something that has very little pitch on it, and a pitch is basically how much the roof will rise. For example, a low slope roof is, I consider 312 or less. What do you consider?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, so you're having a 312 or less pitch roof. That means that the water will sit there. Now, you and I both know, being in the construction industry, sometimes a truss will sag, or sometimes there'll be a little sag, and there'll be a little moisture that will constantly sit there. That's usually the problem with a low slope roof, isn't it?
It is. Another problem is we don't tend to clean our roofs. We don't go up there and clean our drains and our scuppers. So what happens is we have leaves and debris that sit on top of our roof that will help create degradation of the roof system.
And that's a good point, Brittany. A lot of times in a low slope roof, you're right, leaves will sit there. Is GacoRoof and its silicone based chemistry resistant to organic decay? You know, that's one of the big problems with tar roofs and low slope tar roofs. You know, you'll see roots actually working it. Is GacoRoof resistant to that?
Yes, it is resistant. Without getting too much into the chemistry of the makeup of the coating, the silicone is a straight line molecule, so that means that the product is not porous. So roots will not grow into the substrate. You may grow on top due to pollen or dirt, but if you go up there and you pressure wash or clean it, or if you have a heavy rainstorm like we did a few months back, the product will come off clean. So you do not have organic growth that will grow into the coating system.
Well, I know Gaco Western has done some product displays at Romac Lumber. Yes. And what amazes me is, once it's dry, how slick it becomes. It's a product that's hard and slick, and water will just shed completely off of it. Talking about those product demonstrations, Romac Lumber and Gaco has scheduled some free product demonstrations for the month of December. There'll be a product demonstration in Leesburg on December 5th at 700 East Main Street, in the Villages on Duck Lake Road on December 12th, in Ocala December 18th, they're on 15th Avenue, and Mount Dora at 2411 Old Highway 441. Now, all the product
on December 19th.
On December 19th, excuse me. And all the product demonstrations will be from 11 to 1. Plus, I think Gaco Western is providing some lunch for people stopping by. So you might want to check this out. If you have any questions, that's one thing nice about GacoRoof. You guys don't mind showing it and actually let people try it to see how good this product is.
I actually encourage it. I know it sounds funny. I've got friends who try the product out on a daily basis, where we push the fact that people will try our products and the hands-on demo. People who are used to working with other types of coating systems like acrylics and polyurethanes are really amazed at the results that they will get with the silicone and the GacoRoof product.
And you know, I think what's so neat about the demonstrations you do is how easy it is to apply the GacoRoof. It's not complicated. You don't have to rent $1,000 machine. You don't have to have compressors. You don't have to have none of that. Quite frankly, I'm very unskilled. I can do it. Why don't you talk a minute about how easy it is to apply GacoRoof to a home and the process?
Well, the most important process, of course, is surface preparation. Most projects fail due to surface preparation.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you clean off all the old debris, move off any dirt off of the roof system. Make sure it's in sound condition. Then you're going to clean with the Gaco wash. As I said before, it is a concentrated formula. You use 1 gallon of wash and 9 gallons of water to clean it off. Some substrates will require a primer. Your aged asphalt or your black tar will require a primer. If you're unsure if our GacoRoof is going to stick, buy an adhesion kit. You can buy an adhesion kit at Row Lumber, and you can buy an adhesion kit to make sure that it will stick to your substrate. The next component that you're going to do is go to your fasteners and check your fasteners and use the Gaco liquid roof tape over your fasteners and your seams. After that has dried, you're going to apply 2 coats of GacoRoof at 100 square feet per gallon. So you'll do 2 coats, so 2 gallons per 100 square feet.
And the nice thing about it, basically the way I see that people do it is you cut in along the areas, you apply it, and then you just take a heavy mat roller and roll it on.
Yep, you can apply it with a brush or a roller. If you have more questions, you can actually go onto our website and see the application of GacoRoof as well.
And what's your website address?
Our Gaco website is www.gaco.com, and that's GACO.com.
Well, first off, we want to tell anybody, if you're unsure about getting on your roof, do not go on a roof if you're not comfortable with that. And please adhere to all safety factors. For example, when you get on a roof, you're supposed to be tied off. You should have a tie off. You should or have a barrier up. Make sure you're safe, because a lot of people get on the roofs. But it is something that you can do it yourself. But once again, to go through the process, you basically need to sweep it off, thoroughly get it cleaned. I know you guys have a cleaning product, but you could use other cleaning products just as long as it's good and clean.
Yes, I do not suggest using a cleaner or a degreaser like Dawn dish soap, because it creates too many suds.
Yep.
What happens is when you have too many suds is it doesn't get off your roof all the way, and you could have delamination issues. So use something that is less suds.
And then the other thing, then the next step is you want to make sure those fasteners are firmly in there, because believe it or not, what happens, and a lot of people don't understand this, all building supplies with the heat and cold of Florida. And for example, in December, we're going to have some 30-degree days. One day you're 90 degrees, next day you're 30, whatever. That contraction expansion will back out fasteners. So you need to make sure all the fasteners are there, they're tight. If a fastener's collapsed, you want to get a wider fasteners, put that in. And you guys have a fastening tape system that you can put on top?
We do. It's called GacoRoof tape.
And you put it over there, and then once that's done and it's dry, you just basically paint it on the roof.
Yes, and I do want to reiterate is that our Gaco liquid roof tape is a liquid roof tape, not a conventional tape.
One thing to keep in mind here in Lake and Sumter County, there's a lot of mobile homes, there's a lot of Florida rooms. There's a lot of these areas where this product is perfect. For example, someone has a older mobile home or a manufactured home that needs some coating on. That's a perfect product, isn't it?
It is, Dawn, and it can help actually control the energy consumed as well, because it is a high solar reflective index.
And you know, we haven't talked a lot about that, but because it's white, it cools the place down, doesn't it?
It sure does. A really neat report and a case study that we have is with the school board. A lot of your schools around the area have portables.
Right.
We had 2 portables that were sitting side by side. They were fully occupied throughout the 6-month process. We had one portable that had a shingle roof system. The second portable had a modified rolled-on. And what we did is we made sure it was clean and sound, and then we applied 2 coats of GacoRoof. Over the life expectancy, in one day, the portable that had the GacoRoof system shut off 7 times because of the cooling. Over the life expectancy of 6 months of this project, they were able to reduce the energy consumed by 33%. Can you imagine saving 33% on your electric bill, Don?
Oh, that's a lot. But also the other thing you've done, you've extended the life of that portable significantly, because tell them about the warranty. GacoRoof offers a fantastic warranty, don't they?
We do. We have a 50-year product warranty, and with the white coatings, not only is it going to extend the life cycle of your roof system, it's also going to help become more energy efficient of a building.
Now, you talked about the white coloring on the GacoRoof, but I see you have a chip thing where you're offering a variety of different colors. Talk about the colors and how easy those are to come by.
Well, our most popular color is, of course, the white, because of the reflectance value that it has and the cooling properties. But all of Gaco products can extend the life cycle of your roof. We have gray, a tan, a green, rustic. We have 9 different color options. One very important thing to think of, though, is the darker the color, the more heat is going to be absorbed into your building. But it does not affect the integrity or the structural properties of a product to add color to it.
Now, one thing we have not discussed, and I know it's been stumbled in here locally through Romac Lumber, but GacoRoof is an absolute wonderful product for campers and recreational vehicles. You know, there's a lot of campers. There's a lot of our seniors who are coming down for the winter. They're here now, and they brought their campers, they brought their RVs, and they have these nagging leaks around on the top. And it's amazing how well this product works on RVs and campers. Talk a minute about how serviceable they are for these products.
Well, it's a very easy application. As we talked about, it has a lot of elongation, which means a lot of flexibility. So it's very similar to a silicone sealant or a caulking. It's going to provide flexibility and seal your existing roof system. So over your campers and your RVs, it's going to rejuvenate that without having to go through a full weld system.
Well, and once again, we've had several people buy this GacoRoof product. It covers 100 square feet. So if you have and let's put it on terms like this, if you have a camper that's 10 by 10, 1 gallon of GacoRoof will cover it. And at that point, you clean the roof of the camper off, you do all the little things we talked about, and you just roll it on there, and it makes a beautiful job, doesn't it?
It does. It not only seals it now and waterproofs it, but it also will provide with more energy savings.
Okay, and as a GacoRoof dealer, Romac's a GacoRoof dealer, but the other thing is you guys offer a Gaco deck product, which is pretty fantastic, don't you?
We do. We have a Gaco deck product. What's unique about our Gaco deck kit is it has everything that you need inside of the kit. You have 4 gallons of product. It will cover 100 square feet. You have the coating, you have the aggregate, you have a brush, and you have a roller. The only thing that you need to add to it is a roller cage.
Why is GacoRoof Coatings the best on the market?
Because we have a quality product. GacoRoof was the first company to come out with the silicone coating. We have the longest history and track record of successful products in the industry. We are family owned and operated, and we care about our people.
Well, Brittany Humphrey, you're the area manager with GacoRoof. We've learned a lot. It's a great product. It is a miracle product. Once again, I want to remind everyone there will be free product demonstrations in Leesburg on December 5th from 11 to 1, the Villages on Duck Lake Road from 11 to 1, Ocala from 11 to 1 on Southwest 15th, and Mount Dora on December the 19th. They're all free. You're going to provide lunch, and plus you can actually see and use the product. Once again, thank you, Brittany, for being our guest today, and it's a great product. And when we return, we're going to talk about Nichiha siding. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and you're listening to my 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. And if you're viewing this today, you're viewing this compliments of LSTV, that's Lake Sumter Television, Appleseed Marketing, and we are shown on Comcast 13 and Bright House 99. And it's a great show, and it's every day LSTV is expanding their program, and I hope you enjoy it. We appreciate all that Appleseed Marketing is doing. Jeff Knauff is the Florida Territory Manager for Nichiha USA Incorporated. And in the next few minutes, we're going to be discussing something that everyone enjoys. They enjoy this new lap concrete siding. Now that's the hottest thing going these days in siding, and people are using it across the country, and even so more and more down here in Florida. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jeff Knauff with Nichiha USA. How are you doing today, Jeff?
Doing great, Don. It's great to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Jeff, now Nichiha doesn't sound like a USA company, but you guys are located deep in the South. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Nichiha?
Well, Nichiha, just fiber cement in general, let's just start there.
Okay.
It's basically it's a concrete-based cladding product. You know, it comes in all different shapes and sizes. It's not just lap, it has panels, we have shake, we have trim products, but lap is obviously the number one product out there. It was made to replace wood. You know, you have all the worries with wood and bugs and termites and the maintenance that comes with wood. So they came out with fiber cement products. You can achieve all the same looks with wood, from Victorian to contemporary looks to craftsman looks, and again, without all the maintenance that comes with wood. Just to kind of give you an idea of what's in fiber cement, you know, what's in our products. We have three main ingredients, and it's fly ash, it's Portland cement, and it's wood pulp. So those three in combination with each other give it excellent strength and workability, and that's what makes it so popular and growing in demand.
Well, you know, Jeff, I think the other thing that's bringing it so much in demand, you know, let's think about it. You know, I'm an old guy, I'm getting gray hair, but when I started 35 years ago, there was nothing but wood sidings.
Right.
And every year you'd have to paint it, and then every 5 years caulk paint, and good Lord help us if a termite came around.
Or burrowing bees. Or,
yeah. And then evolved the vinyl and aluminum siding. And vinyl and aluminum siding looked okay from a distance, but when you got close to it, it looked like vinyl aluminum siding. Well, and as you know, aluminum siding, the first kid that throws a softball is going to knock it down. Someone close to it with a weed eater, if they come by close, they're going to chip that up.
Right.
Then we went to a wood composite siding. Remember those interseal?
Oh, yeah. Everybody in the industry remembers that one.
Yeah, a lot of people in Lake County bought some composite siding. It looked like chipboard on the back, and it had a wood grain view. Unfortunately, that stuff rotted pretty bad because it was a poor installation in a lot of cases, but it was a bad product.
Right.
Then this evolved about 15 years ago.
Right. That's about the right time frame.
Yeah.
Or mid-90s.
Yeah, mid-90s. And it's a concrete board, and it's a concrete side, and it looks like wood on one side. It has the durability of concrete with that fantastic look, and that's where Nichiha has really come from, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's an innovative product that, you know, there was a huge demand for it because they had so many issues in the past, like you said, with all the other products either not looking like wood or not performing as well as wood.
And this product is made in the USA, is it?
It is, and that's one of the, you know, the best things about our product is it's produced right up the road in Macon, Georgia. It sits on 60 acres up there. We have a 300,000 square foot warehouse. We have another 300,000 square foot manufacturing facility and another 100,000 square feet worth of storage. So all that being said, there's a lot of room for growth. You know, our product continues to grow. There's room there to add lines. So it is made in the United States of America, which a lot of people appreciate.
Well, Nichiha fiber cement is the hottest fiber cement on the market today because it's a unique wood graining.
Right.
A lot of people say this product looks the most like wood of all of them. Is that what you hear from other folks?
Oh, absolutely. And it's because of one of the biggest manufacturing, the process in which we manufacture it. The first step is it's pressed. And when you press the product, that's where you get our deep wood grain. It's authentic. I say curb appeal. You can actually see the texture from the curb, and when it's painted, it looks incredible. So that's one huge thing for us is the wood grain that people love. If you lay our product in front of our competitors' products, our product is picked more often than not.
Let's talk a minute. We have in this market today stucco, vinyl siding, some wood siding, no aluminum siding basically, and fiber cement product. When someone's thinking about building a home or a remodel, why should they choose a lap fiber cement siding over these other sidings?
Well, the biggest thing, and you mentioned stucco, is water. You know,
Right.
Water is every house's enemy. And what lap siding does is it allows a house to breathe. So the way it's installed with the way it's lapped, every piece, even if you're pressure washing rain, even if water gets under there, it can dry because air can get to it. So that's a huge advantage for fiber cement in general and lap siding. As far as real wood, we've already touched on that a little bit with all the problems with maintenance and insects and rot, and that could be a major issue. So, and vinyl siding is another product line. You know, ours is a non-combustible product. It gets you the real wood look. It's a thicker product. You don't have any warpage or shrinkage with our product. It's a superior product out that you won't go wrong picking it if you're a homeowner.
Well, you know, Jeff, a lot of people swear by stucco in this area, and there's two types of stuccos. There's a real stucco, and then there's a cementitious siding. Cementitious siding is basically a skim coat of stucco.
Right.
The problem with stucco is you have to use a special paint. There's three things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and concrete will crack. Whether it's a poured cement wall or a block masonry wall, they will develop cracks.
Correct.
And if the crack's too big, a elastomeric paint will not work. But if you don't keep that paint up, you could actually have water intrusion, mold issues. In fact, a lot of people have that around here.
Exactly.
This is applied on top of that. And if water were to intrude behind it, all it's simply going to do is run off, isn't it?
Or dry. Right,
Dry.
right. So, because the way it's lapped and the way the joints come together, you would think that would be a water problem where the joints come together, but that's either caulked or flashed. So all water that hits that wall is going to come out or it's going to dry.
Now, one of the big things earlier about fiber cement product was you could use fiber cement, but you didn't have the trim to match. In other words, you had to use a wood trim, and that would have problems. I understand Nichiha's basically solved that problem, haven't they?
Well, correct, absolutely. What we did was we have come out with a trim. It comes in two different sizes: a 4/4 board, which is 3/4 of an inch thick, and a 5/4 board, which is 1 inch thick. And they come in wood grain or smooth. A lot of people, depending on the style of house, would like a smooth trim product. So that solved a lot of problems. And if they wanted to use fiber cement as a trim item instead of some other product line, we solved that problem for them.
Big deal about fiber cement. It used to be cutting.
Correct.
Let's talk about how you can cut this.
Well, it's a matter of preference. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. Probably the most popular way done is by just using a regular circular saw. Use the proper safety measures always with fiber cement, but when you cut it, the number one recommendation I have is cutting it from the face backwards. You turn the product upside down and cut it from behind. And all that does is keep your front edge of your product nice and clean. You don't get any cuts or breaks or anything on the front of your edge.
There's also, I know Romac Lumber sells a shear that a lot of installers are using, and it's basically the shear is a takeoff of the old asbestos shears. In fact, Romac in their Leesburg operation has a sample of a 400-pound asbestos shear, and you just bear down on it. But a shear is basically a snip, isn't it? A big snip.
Absolutely. Just cuts it. It creates less dust. It's a nice, cleaner way to do it. The only problem with that is cutting multiple pieces at one time, which a lot of the installers do, is they'll cut multiple lengths at one time. But for remodels, for projects where there are a lot of small cuts and different sizes of cuts, a shear is a good way to go.
Now, one thing that Nichiha has solved in their installation process, there's a big product with the dust. Talk to our listeners about some of the issues with dust from other products, because That's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I touched on it earlier about the raw materials in our product, and one product you didn't hear me say is in our product is silica sand. And it's what we did was replace the silica that's an additive with fly ash. And silica is basically what it is. It acts like a sand spur almost. When you breathe that in and you're cutting, when you cut a board and you get that in your lungs, it's hard to get that out of your lungs. It just holds on, and then long term, that'll lead to silicosis. So that's what it is. It's basically the buildup of those dust particles in your lungs and makes it difficult to breathe. And one of the huge advantages with our product is we don't add silica in it, so it's a much safer product to cut and work with.
You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. We're live on WLB, and if you're watching this, we're on LSTV, Appleseed Marketing. Our guest today is Jeff Knauff. He is the Territory Manager for Nichiha USA, and we're talking about their fantastic fiber cement board. It's really sweeping the country, especially here in Central Florida. It's in high demand now. It's a great product, and it's been used on a lot of houses. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about the basic fiber cement lap board. I see you have right in front of you a fiber cement lap board. That's what most people are using.
Right.
It's what size this is?
This is a 7 1/4 piece. This is the most common size in the state of Florida.
So this is a 7 1/4 piece of lap side. Now, if someone were going to install this on their house, how would they install it?
Well, it would come with the laps go 1 1/4 inch overlap. So you get with a 7 1/4 piece, you'd always get a 6-inch exposure.
So if someone's figuring a house, they figure 6-inch, one piece every 6 inches.
Well, it's 6. Each piece of lap siding, 7 1/4, gets 6 square feet of coverage.
Right.
So that's the easiest way to
because it's a 12-foot long piece.
Correct.
Okay. So how would they install it?
So you'd install it. You basically just put a starter strip on the bottom of your house, the first row, 6 inches above grade. And what that starter strip does, and you use fiber cement, PVC, all different kinds of non-material that won't rot on you, obviously.
Yep.
And then that'll create a kick out, and from that kick out, you just run it up the wall. Now, one of the most important things is you want to stagger your joints going up the wall. You want to land on stud and break on stud. But as you go up the wall, you don't want a straight line going up the wall of all your joints, because what does your eye see first? It's those joints.
Right.
So you want a staggered effect so the joints aren't apparent. So that's probably one of the most important things aesthetically. Now, I mentioned break on stud, land in stud. If you want a tight house and you don't want to go up and pull on that lap and make sure it's tight, you want to make sure you land on stud and and nail on stud. And you can't do that all the time. It's impossible in a house to land on a stud all the time. And in those circumstances, what we recommend, just to make sure that the joints are tight, is use a little finish nail at the corner of the joint and just put that in there. You'll never see it once the painter's done with it, and that's what keeps it nice and flush.
The other thing, don't you recommend blind nailing?
Absolutely.
And let's talk about what blind nailing is, because, ladies and gentlemen, that is the #1 mistake when installing all sidings, is people face nailing instead of blind nailing.
Right.
Talk to our listeners why blind nailing is so important.
With our product, you can do either way. You can face nail it or blind nail it. Obviously, blind nailing is the preferred way because you don't see the nails. And all it is, and for those of you on the radio, I'm about an inch down off the top of the board, but on TV here, you want to nail it in here, and as the other piece lays over top of it, you're using an inch and 3/4 roofing nail. As the other piece lays over top of it, you never see the nails. So that's what blind nailing is, because you can't see them.
You also protect the nail against rust.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Yeah. You keep it unexposed to the elements.
And if that nail gets loose, we talked in our last segment about with the contraction, expansion of wood, you'll have a nail or something work out, and that actually can be a moisture point for the house if you blind nail. So if you don't blind nail, so it's a big deal. Plus, now, all right, you start it with your starter board, you blind nail it, you put it up. Talk about how important it is to caulk and seal.
Okay, there's 2 recommended methods of installing fiber cement as it comes to a butt joint.
Yep.
And butt joints, when 2 pieces obviously come together. So you can use, our recommended way is to use moderate contact. You don't shove the pieces together. You just kind of put them in, fit them together nicely. But you want to use a piece of house wrap or felt or anything like that behind it to keep that water from if water does get through that joint, it comes right out underneath of it. So that piece of wrap goes underneath the joint and laps over top the piece below it. So no water can get in that joint.
And I'm going to interrupt you because a lot of people don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
There's a house wrap. It usually comes like a 9-foot by 195-foot rolls.
Right.
It's water resistant, but it's unique in that it allows the home to breathe. Mm-hmm. It's not like a poly. It's not like a plastic wrap. It's a fiber wrap, but it doesn't allow moisture intrusion from the outside. And you're saying it's very important to have that wrap.
Yeah, we would recommend that because you put that right behind the joints, and that way you eliminate any chance of water getting to the substrate.
Right.
The other method is you leave an 1/8 inch gap and you caulk it. Use a good quality caulk if you're going to caulk it. A lot of people will do moderate contact and put a little bit of caulk over top of it, kind of do both ways. But if you're going to do caulk only, leave an 1/8 inch gap so you can actually get some caulk in the joint. You don't want to press them together and then try to caulk. That's going to do no good if you don't have flashing behind it.
You know what's amazing though, Mike? A lot of people are getting wise on poured concrete wall systems and block wall systems, and they're actually installing this product now over blocks, aren't they?
They are. We do. There is a direct.
Well, I mean, most of it that's sold in Central Florida goes directly over blocks, and some of it is aesthetics. They want the lap look. But a lot of people are getting wise. Well, wait a minute, I don't have to use elastomeric paint, don't have to worry about cracking. Talk about installation on top of block walls.
So like you said, most of Central Florida South is block, and especially first floor, it's always block.
Yep.
So you had to, fiber cement, the industry had to come out with a way to compete with that and to gain market share in those areas. So there's special compressors and guns and pin nails that you use. You apply this directly to a block wall like you would to wood studs. And then it blind nails the same, just like we just talked about. And you would never know that there's a block wall underneath of that lap siding when you're all said and done. And one thing that we at Nichiha offer now, and we just started this process, is when a builder doesn't have the experience or they don't normally apply directed block, they don't have the right equipment. And that equipment can cost upwards of $3,000-$4,000.
Right.
So what we can do as a company is we have our own equipment, and we can help those builders get started and show them and use the right equipment and point them in the right direction. And we do that as a service at no charge to that builder, just another feather in our cap, so to speak, to promote our products.
You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and we're having a great conversation this morning with Jeff Knauff. He's the territory manager for Nichiha USA. They're the makers of some of the finest fiber cement products you'll ever use. In fact, it's probably one of the hottest products being used in Central Florida today. This segment of Around the House is being sponsored by the MI Better Built Vinyl Window. Romac Lumber is now installing and retrofitting the new MI Better Built Vinyl Window with low E glass all throughout Central Florida. There is no better window on the market for the price, and you will see immediate temperature difference between the old aluminum single pane windows. In fact, this time of year, if you have an old single pane aluminum windows, you're going to notice that it's starting to sweat inside. And that sweats, I'll tell you how that sweat occurs. Imagine taking a cold Coca-Cola, setting it on the table in a warm room. Now that Coke can's going to start sweating. That's the same principle about old, energy inefficient aluminum windows. When it's real cold outside in Central Florida, and when we talk about real cold, 40 degrees, you'll see sweat start forming up inside your windows. You may think your windows are leaking, but no, that's just the condensation from the cold being transferred inside. Let Romac Windows talk to you about these new MI Better Built Vinyl windows. They're really fantastic. You can call Romac Windows in Leesburg at 352-787-4545. Or you can call Carrie Mosley at the Villages Romac at 352-753-3333. You not only can buy some great windows, but get some great information from Romac Windows. Jeff Knauff, one thing we need to talk about, we've talked about this 7 1/4 fiber cement product, but you know what I like about the fiber cement product? It comes in a lot more types of siding. Because people really have different views. Talk about your complete product line now.
Right. So in order to replace wood, you have to think of a house, everything that was wood on the old houses, and you have trim and old shake and soffit and panels and batten strips, all that good stuff that used to be wood. We replace all that now with fiber cement products that come with a lifetime warranty, and you won't have any of the problems that you had with wood. So I touched on we all know about the lap. We've touched on that as well. But we have panels too that come 4x8, 4x10, and 4x12 panels. People use these for board and batten looks, all sorts of looks on the exterior house. And they come in 4 different finishes, excuse me. We have a smooth product.
Yes.
We have a stucco product that's made to look like stucco. And we have a cedar product, and we have an 8-inch on center T111 product.
Well, let's talk about something in particular. You know, back in the day, once again, I'm dating myself, but when you wanted a cedar shake look on your house, you actually had to buy the old wood cedar shakes. They were hard to nail. You had to put heavy felt, tars and stuff back, nail them up, and some 5 years later, they were wanting to fall off, and they looked horrible. They gave you the rustic look, but they gave you all kind of problems. Now, you guys have developed a cedar shake siding that is absolutely fantastic. Talk a minute about that product.
Okay, well, we have, at Nichiha, we're very proud of our shake line. We call ourselves the king of shake. We have 4 different shake options that you can do. We have, you probably see the most common, the football item in the fiber cement industry is, it's a staggered and straight look. You can either do a staggered shake look like the old, or you can do a straight shake look. And all that is it's a 5/16 panel, and it just lays out in a gable, or you can do a whole house in it, and it's made to look like authentic shake, but it's fiber cement. Installs very easily. Now, one of the products that we offer that nobody else has on the market is 2 different product lines. It's called our Frontier product line and our Sierra Premium product line. Now, it's a kind of a better best situation with those two. The Frontier is 7/16 inch thick, so you still get a nice shadow line with that. It has a nice combed look, and I actually brought a piece of it. Excuse me here. I actually brought a piece of it here with me. It comes pre-finished, and you can see a piece of pre-finished right there, and it gives you the nice combed look with a deep keyway in it. So that's our Frontier product line. Our best product in the better best scenario would be the Sierra Premium Shake, and that's just a thicker product. It's a full 1/2 inch. You get a great shadow line, you get a straight look with it, and when you install it, and it's installed on multi-million-dollar houses all over the beach, up in North Florida, down Southwest Florida, it really gives you the look of real cedar that lasts a lifetime. It's an incredible product.
Well, and there's a couple of things we want to point out. First off, it's pre-finished, meaning you do not have to hire a painter to paint it.
Right, and these 2 shake lines, our Frontier and Sierra Premium, we offer, it's a pre-finish, but it's not a pre-finish like you would think, like you would just paint it and we send it out. It comes in 4 different, it has 4 coats on it. So it looks like a stain when you get it. So there's actually a black underneath of it, and then it's painted a color. So it gives it that stained shake look. So it doesn't look like a fiber cement shake painted in a gable.
Well, and that just shows, once again, the building technologies, how it's really evolved. Right. Back in the day, if you put a cedar shake shingle up, you were going to have to prime it. You were going to have to put multiple coats of paint on it. You have to do all kind of stuff. This is basically a nail-up product. You never have to worry about termites, not have to worry about water intrusion, and it's going to look authentic. In other words, I dare say, especially with the Nichiha press technology you're using at your Macon, Georgia plant, I dare say someone close up could tell the difference. Do you?
No, they absolutely can't. And the best thing about it is it gives you that real look, but it goes on the wall for less money than it does for real cedar.
And that's amazing, because real cedar shakes are very expensive because of the logging issues out west.
Correct.
You actually cannot buy cedar shake shingles, which you can find by pre-finished. Let's talk a little bit about warranties. Great product. Talk about the warranties on your product.
Well, our on the lap siding in particular, we have a lifetime warranty on the product. So for the life of the product, if you're in that house 75 years from now and you ever have an issue, the product will be replaced on your house. We will give you the product to replace it. So we think that is the best warranty in the industry. It also comes, and that's on the lap and panel. On the soffit and on the trim, you have a 25-year, which is also the best in the industry for those 2 products.
So it's a product that's going to last a while. We've talked a lot about Nichiha siding, but Jeff, why would someone choose Nichiha siding?
Well, what people don't understand about us is we've been doing this since 1973, producing fiber cement products. And obviously in the States it's newer, but in Japan we started in 1973, which is 40 years of experience, research, technology that all goes into our products. And for people that, for instance, we now have over 800 fiber cement products, so we have the full range of products that they can choose from. We have the technology, we do have the experience. Our manufacturing process that we've talked about here a little bit today just shows that we are a high quality product, and we come in at a price point that people will be very pleased with.
And I'll tell you something else, we haven't talked about it, and we only have a few more minutes to talk about Nichiha, and is you offer a full line of soffit boards. That's a big deal here in Florida, because there's a lot of moisture under porches and under soffits. You guys offer a soffit board that's absolutely fantastic, don't you?
Yes, we do. It comes in several different sizes. There's an industry standard 12-inch, 16-inch, 24-inch, even 48-inch soffit. And it comes perforated and non-perforated. So if you don't need it perforated, we offer that. If you do, it lets it breathe. It comes in little pinholes, basically, for the ventilation factor.
And the nice thing is you don't have to worry about vents. It makes such a clean cut, clean job on the underneath the eaves of the house, does it?
Absolutely, that you don't have to worry about, just like all the rest of our products.
Real quick on the non-finished product. What type? How easy is it to paint, and what do you have to do to paint it?
Just a regular quality exterior latex paint. Very easy to paint. One of the benefits of ours is it comes, when you get our product, it almost looks painted gray.
It's already primed.
It's 2 coats of primer and a sealant coat. So it takes paint very easily. It doesn't take as much paint. So that's one of the pride and joys that we have with this product.
Now, is there any issues with different color paints? Some siding, for example, if you're using a synthetic siding, they say you can't paint it dark. Is there any issues painting this with
No, absolutely not.
various colors?
Nope. You can paint it any color you'd like.
And for the most part, are all of these products relatively available to our homeowners?
Oh, absolutely. Through Romac Lumber, they're if they don't have it in stock, we can get it to them within a day or two.
Okay, and Jeff, once again, your factory's located in Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia.
And you send trucks down every day, and you're shipping this product all throughout Central Florida.
Absolutely.
All right, we'd like to thank Jeff Knauff, our Nichiha, for being our guest today. He's did an absolutely wonderful job, and we want to remind you to tune in every week to Around the House live on WLBE from 12 to 1, and then we'd also like to remind you to catch Around the House on the Daily Commercial, the column, Saturdays in the Daily Commercial and Wednesdays in the South Lake Press. Once again, we're going to help you through all your projects. Jeff Knauff from Nichiha, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And hope you enjoyed seeing us around the house. Until next week, see you then.